everybody, and welcome back once again. My name is Jordan, also known as J-Monster, and you're watching the fifth, at least I believe it is the fifth, part of my mini-series that deals with the Siege of Gondor and the end of the War of the Ring. And this time around for you, you may have guessed by looking at the screen, we do indeed have the Battle of Pelennor Fields. Actually I think it is the largest battle of the War of the Ring, and very much an exciting turn in the War of the Ring in favor of the forces of the West, the Free Peoples of Middle-earth. And this is the battle that is fought on 3019 of the Third Age, March 15th, the same day as the Siege of Minas Tirith, which you saw in the battle previously. And the Rohirrim arrived at this battle completely to the shock of the hosts of Mordor. As you saw earlier in the series, Caer-Andros was taken, and the Anorion was fortified by the enemies of Gondor against the arrival of their friends from Rohan. The Great Western Road was fortified with pikes and trenches and all of the nastiness that you really don't want to see as a cavalryman. But, unbeknownst to Sauron, there was a tribe of men living in the Druadan forest, who the Rohirrim know as the Pukul men. There are actually statues of them being mentioned at the rally point of Dunharrow, where the Rohirrim rallied before setting out on their ride towards Gondor. And Theoden is approached by a man of the forest named Gonbury Gon, and he leads them through the Stonewain Valley. And they arrive at the northern gate of the Ramas Ekor, which you guys saw fall earlier in the series, taking the orcs guarding it completely by surprise, and they were swept away. And Theoden arranges his forces in large contingents called Eorids, and each one of them is led by a prominent commander. On our side here, you can see that we are on technically the right side, but it is the left wing, which is led by, I believe, Grimbold. In the two middle Eorids there that you can see are led by Eomer and Theoden, respectively. Eomer technically commands the center Eored, the one that rushes right down the center to the hosts of Mordor. And far away on the extremity there, on what I believe is technically the right flank, is led by Elfhelm. Now, Elfhelm and Grimbold, if you guys have been keeping up with the historical series, are two heroes of Rohan who you will remember from the battles at the Fords of Isen, which if you guys haven't checked that out, I will put a link in the description. I highly recommend it, as it's a really cool battle and it's got a lot of history in it. So if you guys are interested in that, check it out. What else can I say? I think that's really all the history that you guys need for the battle. Theoden arrives and he gives his big speech, the one that you guys remember from the beginning of the movie. Fell deeds awake, fire and slaughter, a sword day, a red day, ere the sun rises. He gives this speech, he fires up his troops, and they attack. And they overrun the entire northern half of the Pelennor, sweeping away all resistance before them. And Theoden and his Rohirrim, even though they were 3 times outnumbered by the Haradrim alone, which makes about 18,000 Haradrim, routed the Haradrim, crushed their chieftain, threw down their black banner, and Theoden, in his own eyes at least, redeems himself and becomes worthy of joining his fathers in the afterlife, which is what happens to him. Unfortunately, he is killed in this battle. He is killed when his horse Snowmane takes a dart, loses the Southron dart. God, they get up to a lot of mischief. Another Southron dart wounded Faramir. But his horse Snowmane takes a dart and crushes him under it. And he is then attacked by the Witch King, and then his niece, Eowyn, who he did not know was at this battle, who he had asked to stay behind, stands between the immortal Lich King and her lord and uncle. And she fights with him, and she is nearly killed except for the timely intervention of Meriadoc Brandybuck, who stabs the Witch King from behind with a sword forged in Westernese, one of the only swords that really could have done a lot of damage to the Witch King. And shortly after this, there is a number of troops that arrive with Aragorn. They come up from the southern fiefdoms. The army of the dead actually doesn't make it to this battle. They only go as far as the Pelargir. They scare the Corsairs off their ships. The southern soldiers, as well as Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, take their ships, and they sail them up the river, and they surprise the hosts of Mordor. And around this time, the soldiers out of the castle, out of the city of Minas Tirith, rally and they take the fight to the enemies of Gondor on the fields of the Pelennor, and they are led, I believe, by Prince Imrahil. Now, the forces of Gondor you will not see at this battle, just because there's some limitations with the engine. I can't deploy them in the proper places, so I don't really want to have like a line of troops. That one of the big objectives of the forces of Mordor was to prevent all of these troops from linking up so that they become unstoppable, which they managed to do up until the point where they're destroyed. And it just wouldn't be authentic. So what I have for you, in fact, is 6,000 Rohirrim. All of the Rohirrim in the book, they're all here, every single one of them. And that will be the battle for Pelennor Fields, which you guys are gonna love anyway. And this is one of the biggest battles I've ever done. Like it is, I think it's like 18,000 troops, so it's gonna be choppy. It's already choppy. Like look at this, it's already crazy, but it's gonna be so worth it. And you can't skimp on this battle. So I believe that's everything, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the battle. And I hope you guys enjoy it, despite the unbelievable lag you're about to witness. So here we are. I've placed them the farthest away from the city because they are held in reserve technically. But here we have the soldiers of Rune. So we're going to send our air raids at each flank here, as well as some soldiers down the center, and we're going to destroy this army. And way over here you can see the Haradrim, who are responsible for the deaths of many, many heroes in this battle. I believe the sons of Dwylin from the Black Vale, Derufin, and I can't remember the other one's name, are both killed. They are trampled by the Mumakil because they led their archers close to shoot arrows into the eyes of the monsters. As well as Halbarad and of the Northern Dunedain, who accompanies Aragorn. He is also killed in this battle. Oh, I forgot to mention, both of Elrond's sons, Elrond Half-Elven, his sons Elladan and Elrohir are both present in this battle, as they chose to represent the High Elves on the field of battle in this struggle for Middle-earth. So as you can see here, it's crazy choppy, but there's thousands of cavalrymen all charging forward at once, getting ready to crush the enemies of Rohan and the free peoples of Middle-earth. We've just punched right through this unit here of Rune soldiers, and we're beginning to surround them. Looks like they have some cavalry here. They've got some Variag lancers who are also mentioned as being present in this battle. It looks like the Mumakil here are coming to assault our soldiers from the other side here. They're gonna cause some pretty terrible casualties to us, but I think we can take them. And it looks like our troops or our allies here have engaged the Southrons. This will be Theoden and Eomer and their soldiers and their Aerids, riding hard against the Haradrim, who outnumber them so greatly. Oof, man, it's crazy. It'll start to get a little nicer as people start to die. But we've got some royal guard here charging into the ranks of these massed ranks of orcs from Mordor and Minas Morgul. There's a number of Alakai and such that are mixed in there, but you can just see that this battle takes place along a huge front. 6,000 heavy cavalry all charging at once. It's just crazy. Let's see how our troops here on this side are doing. Looks like they're cutting quite nicely through these Variags. They're already thinking about running, just being completely cut down by these furious Rohirrim. Looks like we've destroyed already 13% of our enemies, which is a lot of soldiers. Our enemies have, I think, like 12,000 troops in this battle, so that's a pretty significant number of soldiers that have already fallen in this initial charge.
Only half the enemy
The number of these are clan guard, I believe. Very powerful against cavalry, but it doesn't seem to be doing them a whole lot of good here. These Variag lancers are fighting against our Arid lancers on this flank here, but they're just being crushed by the superior knightship of the Rohirric troops. And it looks like we're running these guys over. Gold-plated enemies falling left and right. Their general is embroiled in combat here. Hopefully we can take him down and put this runic force to flight. But we're just pushing through. They're just being cut down. 20% of our enemies have been killed. Looks like the Mumakil over here are charging against these massed Rohirrim. You can just see there's some Rohirrim corpses in there as well, but most of them are Southron soldiers just being slaughtered in this huge charge of the Rohirrim. And looks like these guys are about to get some more reinforcements. Looks like the forces of Mordor here are they're just being trampled into the dirt. There's just so many cavalrymen. Looks like we've taken 6% casualties. And our forces here, I think, have engaged the Olokai. Very fearsome, evolved trolls. What do we got here? It's like this one group here is like smashed into this huge block of spearmen and halberdmen, taking them on all by themselves. And it looks like we've got... Oh yeah, these guys over here have yet to engage anybody. Well, there's quite a lot of them, and once they get going, they're gonna just come around the flank of our enemies, crush that flank, and then slowly roll up the line of our foes. Just I know it's laggy, but this is just glorious to me. It's just thousands of cavalrymen all over the place. You can see quite a lot of Haradrim have been slaughtered here. Don't think they have quite pushed back our allies on this end yet. It looks like most of their troops are concentrated over in here, trying to avoid these Mumakil, which is very true. The horses were terrified of the Mumakil. Oh, look at that. We just crushed our enemies here. Just ran them right over. Pretty soon we're going to be able to use our troops who have been freed up by this fight here. We're going to be able to turn them onto the flank and rear of our enemies. Take these guys and we'll attack them. It looks like these guys have finished. Yeah, they have finished their bloody work against that flank of the runic soldiers. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw them in to the fray against these Southron cavalrymen here, who I believe are pinned down, fighting some of our outnumbered comrades on this side. Looks like the Rohirrim directly to our right have consolidated their forces, and they're starting to surround these Haradrim here. Looks like many of their troops are getting trampled into the dust by these Mumakil. Looks like we've killed almost 40% of our enemies. It's not going well for the soldiers of Mordor. Looks like this Aered over here has not engaged anyone yet. I think looks like they're biding their time by the looks of it. Just hanging out, just having fun. Probably a limitation of the AI there. Just so many troops all at once. Looks like these guys are carving quite handily through the orc forces of Mordor. I think the only troops that have managed to give them pause so far are these Olokai. Let's go check on our troops over here and see how their charge here against the Haradrim is doing. Yeah, it looks like they're just running our foes down, just completely destroying them. Attack! Oh, it's beautiful. Look at this. It's hard to see much because it's a bit of a clusterfuck right now, but yeah, it's gonna get better as time goes on here. It looks like the forces of Rune here have been completely destroyed, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our forces here and we're gonna move them up and start slowly rolling up the line of our enemy. Yeah, there we go. Go fast. Yeah, we're gonna surround our foes here. Looks like we've just left a trail of carnage in our wake. We're just running these guys down. Let's throw these guys into the fray against this Southron warband here. Let's just keep the momentum up. Don't stop, don't stop. Looks like the Mumakil have gotten in amongst our AI reinforcements here. Whoop. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Yeah, they're just running all over our troops, causing terrible, terrible casualties as they did at the actual battle. But, look at that. Just thousands of Rohirrim running these Mordor troops down. Soon enough, we'll be able to throw our own Aerids into the fray against the Mumakil. And then, of course, there's this reserve force over here who's just hanging out. They're just having fun. Wish they would do something, though. We could use their help about now. Move over here. Yeah, the carnage is just incredible.
The enemy are badly bloodied.
Looks like our troops here have reformed. A number of these Mumakil have been destroyed here. We're going to send about half of our force against that unit of Mumakil. Come on, guys. There you go. Attack! We'll take the rest of them here, and we'll throw them into battle against the Haradrim. Looks like many of the Mumakil are beginning to be slain. They're starting to fall to the combined might of the Rohirrim. Lost almost a quarter of our troops, while the enemies have lost half of theirs. It looks like, yeah, many of our friends here have been just trampled by these Mumakil. The slaughter is just terrible. It looks like one of the enemy generals has fallen. Yeah, that's the runic general that we destroyed earlier. As you can see, the Rohirrim on this side are doing much better for themselves than our allies in the middle. Yeah, they're just pushing through, just pushing and pushing, and just slowly driving the hosts of Mordor back. Well, it looks like these guys have finally decided to join the battle. They're forming up for a nice charge. Yeah, many of them are already heading towards the center front here. Let's go see how our troops over here are doing. Man, this is... I've never done a battle with this many troops before, let alone with wraps on. So it's crazy to me. Looks like some of these guys are beginning to run amok. Some of these Mumakil are probably trampling their allies at this point, but it looks like the Mumakil are some of the only troops left standing. Most of the Haradrim have been surrounded and killed and run down by the ferocious Rohirrim. Got any troops over there? Nope. Select our troops that aren't doing anything. Get them into battle too. Yeah, I'll have them just attack this blob of Harad infantry over here. Run them over. You can see this is just a massive battle. The orcs of Mordor here are fighting against our AI reinforcements, but they're just unable to stop these ferocious Rohirrim. Looks like this block of spearmen here has done very well for themselves. Looks like they've impaled most of a unit, but it looks like our buddies from over here are beginning to make their way to the main battlefield, so they're going to reinforce our depleted troops over here. Nope. There we go. Man, this is some crazy lag. Like, this is madness, but... And it looks like most of this Harad force here has been completely destroyed. Yep, the troll men of Harad have been put to rout. Most of their infantry force has been completely annihilated. So we got a unit of Variag Lancers. Well, we're going to send some Royal Guard against them to see them off. Looks like this unit of Mumakil here is probably running amok. Yep. As are these guys, I believe. Well, they have successfully been dealt with, so we're going to take our remaining troops here and we're going to use them to surround these Mordor troops and put an end to this battle. Looks like our enemy have lost 3/4 of their troops. In fact, they're going to lose their entire army, as most of the troops that participated in this battle on the side of Mordor were they were just destroyed. They were killed or they were captured. The casualties in the army were just total. Yeah, it looks like more of the Rohirrim here are charging in to help their friends in the center.
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes
Some of these guys are engaged. I think there might be some pockets of Haradrim resistance here, although maybe not. But you just look across the battlefield and you can see that casualties are they're just horrendous on both sides. We've lost 40% of our troops. The Rohirrim do, in fact, lose about 1/3 of their troops in the actual battle. They suffer about 2,000 killed and wounded. You can see, these guys were just stopped dead in their tracks. There's just nothing that they could do. against the furious onslaught of the Rohirrim. Looks like more of the Mumakil have died, or they're running amok, and they're just being run down by these Rohirrim. What we got over here? Looks like we've got some of our AI buddies rolling up this this Mordor line. It's completely destroying them. This block of Uruk pikes here is standing firm, but not for much longer. Looks like our reserve units here are joining the fight. Yeah, they're gonna run right into these guys and crush them. And over here, it looks like a unit of Uruks just broke, being surrounded by Rohirrim cavalry. Their halberd blocks here are doing quite well for themselves, though. They're standing firm. These spearmen here just took a charge on their flank, and they're really not happy about it. They've taken something like 50 casualties or more just in a few seconds, so they're going to start running off the battlefield pretty quickly. Just take a look at the carnage here. Just many, many dead Rohirrim. As you can see, there's still Mumakil in the background there running around slaughtering people. Take a look over here. Use these guys to run down this lone Mumakil. But the forces of Harad were just run over and destroyed. And of course, you've seen what happened to the ruining, to the Easterlings over there. And the forces of Rohan have swept the field of enemies, although at a great, great cost. Over 42% of their men were killed or wounded. A little heavier than the actual battle, but brutal. Just hundreds and hundreds of orcs and Rohirrim all over the battlefield, dead and dying. There you go. There's the victory. The forces of Mordor are in full retreat. None of them will escape this battlefield. 97% of them have already been killed. Just a brutal, brutal battle. And the city of Minas Tirith is safe for now. And I will see you guys again in the next episode. We're just going to take a quick look at the casualties. Heroic victory!
Let all who remember this day.
Yeah, as you can see, the enemies here suffered almost complete casualties. We suffered some pretty heavy casualties ourselves, but nowhere near as bad as the enemy. So that is the battle for Pelennor Fields, more or less. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next episode, which is going to be an ambush in Ithilien by the forces of Mordor against the host of the West, who are on their way to besiege the Morannon. And after that, you will see the Battle of the Morannon, the final battle of the War of the Ring, and you guys are going to have to see what happens. I'm sure many of you already know because everyone's seen the movies, but hopefully I will give you some cool facts that you don't already know. So, as usual, my name is Jordan, also known as J Monster, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye!